Ladies and gentlemen, media buying is dying, and creatives are thriving like never before, as the brands that put more emphasis into their creatives and making them at scale are sailing past their competition without fail. And I don't want to leave you like a frail male whale that's out to jail because you left your tail out on the trail. And before you comment and braille that I'm just some pale, stale white male that's out to sail with his pet snail, I want to let you know that I will reveal the secrets of making high-quality UGC content at scale so that you can sell any product like it is the holy grail. If I don't get a like and subscribe for that, then I don't know what I have to do. But let's cover creatives and media buying real quick. I really do believe a lot of people in dropshipping put a huge emphasis on media buying. They think it's everything and that great media buying can outperform a bad creative. But I am a firm believer that is never the case. If your creative sucks, you can do all the surf scaling, all the crazy black hat strategies, pixel manipulation. It will never work for you if you have a crappy creative. That is the whole point of ad platforms. They will give you higher CPMs if your creative sucks and obviously higher CPCs. So you should be focusing on obviously your creatives. But where do you start when you need to make a high quality creative for any product? Well, I believe the first way to sell any e-commerce product is to assume nothing, that you know absolutely nothing as to why someone would buy that product. Even if it seems like the most basic thing in the world, like a phone case or a water bottle, you should go into it with a blank mind and do the research of reading reviews online of similar products. Read the reviews online of competitors, see the ads and get inspiration from your competitors on different platforms like the Facebook ad library, the TikTok Creative Center, and see what are the main angles, the main reasons, the main problems and objections as to why people are buying certain products versus not buying others. Maybe it's the price. Maybe they're looking for a specific feature that another product doesn't have. But you can't come up with an ad creative for a product if you don't understand the objections, what are the problems, what is the desired result that your customer wants, what are the major benefits that they truly care about. Because when you're first selling something, you're just guessing. You're going with your gut as to, okay, I think they're going to want this because it's easy to use, or that it's ergonomic, or whatever buzzword that every single beginner copywriter puts into their creatives, and it just means absolutely nothing to anyone. No one cares. The more specific you can be with your benefits, the better, and you can only be specific after you've done the research. So again, reviews are a great way because you can't really talk to any customers of a product directly unless you know people that have bought those products, but you can read the reviews. It's easy to do online, and then you can also look at videos and video reviews on YouTube, on TikTok of those products you're willing to sell to see why are people buying and what are they expecting when they get this product. So here's a quick example of some benefits and notes that I wrote for this facial sauna. So this thing helps you exfoliate your skin, better absorb skincare products, obviously help you with your acne, your skincare, and really what is the desired end result? People are hoping this exfoliates their skin after doing the research and that it helps them clear their acne. It helps them clear their skin, get rid of fine lines. There's a lot of different reasons, but they just want the desired result of healthy, natural looking, clear skin. So that is what I should really harp about in my ad. The features are something that I might put in the product description, but frankly, no one cares about features. If you're going to mention a feature, talk about the benefit that comes from that feature. So let's say you have a specific ingredient in a skincare product. Let's say it's coconut water. I don't really know. But if you have coconut water in your skincare product, you need to explain why that matters. So it helps you exfoliate your skin because we use coconut water. It helps hydrate your skin, whatever it is, you have to explain why so that people actually care. Now, after you figure out what are the major benefits and the major angles you can go with approaching your product, because there's only going to be a certain amount of reasons, usually 3 to 5 in my eyes, as to why people will really buy your product. But after you figure that out, you need to explain in a variety of different ways that benefit. So maybe your major benefit is, okay, it helps you get clear skin. Well, you need to figure out 3 to 5 different ways of saying that exact line. And I know it takes a little bit of brain power. So, all right, it helps you clear your skin. So that also means it helps you get rid of acne. That means, oh, you're gonna have a lot more confidence because of your clear skin. You have to say it in a different way so that you can get that idea across to different audiences, because you'll say a benefit in one way and it'll speak to one audience, and then you can say a benefit in another way and it speaks to an all different audience. And a great example of this is this projector right here. All this projector does is it projects from your laptop so you can watch TV shows, movies, etc. But what spoke to me in this ad right here is that they mentioned that you can also play video games on this projector, which is so cool. So you can basically replace a TV and also play video games. And that angle spoke to me when it's essentially the same benefit. You can replace a TV and play whatever you want, but they only mentioned movies in one ad, and then the other one they mentioned video games, which spoke to me. So you got to think of it that way when you're selling any product. It might be that in one ad you're talking about, okay, okay, hey ladies, this period cramp device will really help you with obviously those stomach cramps you get, periods, stuff like that. And then you might want to consider targeting that to boyfriend, saying like, hey, this is the perfect gift for your girlfriend. If you want to be a top G like Andrew Tate, you got to take care of your queen, the missus, the royalty. So you got to be getting her this period cramp belt. So again, you don't know which angle is going to work better. Maybe the one that's more targeted to females, maybe the one that's more targeted to the boyfriends of those females. You never know, but you have to be approaching it in each ad with a different angle. You can't just fit in all these benefits into every single ad. In a lot of cases, you just need to have one main story angle benefit that you're going for and split test those angles to see what performs the best. Now, if you don't have the time to build your own content creation team or edit your own ads, then you can work with a done-for-you agency that finds you winning products, edits those ads, sources creators, and also builds websites for you and manages your ads on TikTok and Facebook, which is what my agency, Blue Ocean Digital, has done. And we have scaled over 6 new clients in the past month alone from $0 to $1,000 a day. So if you are interested in working with my team that's trained by me and all have years of experience with e-commerce, then all you have to do is book a call down below and we'll see if we're the right fit to work with you. Now, when it comes to thinking of ad angles for the product you're selling, I highly recommend having an inspiration board where you look at your competition, you can save their ads, and you can use them as reference when you're coming up with your ad angles. And personally, I like to use Foreplay. It's like $50 a month, but man, oh man, does it save so much time. And don't you dare, with your dirty mind, think of any other word. Foreplay is the name, but you can basically save all these ads in different boards. As you can see right here, I have UGC ads that I like. I got tech ads I like, jewelry, hook. There's so many different boards you can have, and this is just a marketer's dream. So you can come back, it saves all ads. So even if the advertiser is no longer using that ad, you can always have it as a reference, which is such a game changer. I mean, I'm actually obsessed with Foreplay. It's got so many, no, this is not a sales pitch. Foreplay, you got to sponsor me for that. So let's actually get into it. So Serene Living Co. sells a smart cupping massager, a massager. So obviously that's supposed to help with relieving soreness after gyms, but there's a lot of different angles because different markets could use this. Bodybuilders could use this, runners, athletes. So you might want to have ad angles that speak to those specific personas. So that's one way you can differentiate, by talking to different personas. And then another way you can differentiate is with the benefits that you go with an approach. So you might say this is perfect for relieving pain after long runs. That might be the big thing about runs. And then you might want to have one for back pain. So hey, if you suffer from back pain, this is perfect for you. So again, a lot of different angles. Those are just off the top of my head, but let's look at 2 of their examples because I actually loved editing the voiceover and the clips they do.
Here's why I'll never pay for a massage again.
That is a great hook. I absolutely love it because it creates a curiosity loop. It doesn't feel like an ad. Like, here's why I'll never pay for a massage again. It creates curiosity. You're like, well, why not? I mean, massagers are pretty dope. I mean, ask any billionaire sports team owner. Really close-up shot of the product, but let's get into the rest of it.
Whether I'm at work, the gym, or doing chores around my house, being on my feet all day puts a huge strain on my body.
Okay, cool. So let's break this down. We got a hook. We got a problem. It's very relatable too. So I used to get massages every week, but it's too expensive, too time consuming. So he's aggravating the problem. He's mentioning a problem, then he's aggravating the problem again, which is a really effective way. If you look at any mud water ad, they love mentioning a problem and then aggravating it. And then he gets into a product intro, the Smart Cupping Massager by Serene Living Co. But let's look at the rest.
Living Co. This fully portable massager relieves all my pain without leaving the house.
So why would they mention that it's portable? Who cares that this thing is portable? Oh, you can take it wherever you want so that you can relieve pain without leaving the house, or you can take it to the gym. There's so many reasons why this is portable. So that is where you really need to expand on with them. What is in it for me? Every single line needs to be battle tested.
The massager has multiple therapy settings.
Okay, multiple therapy settings. That is a feature. Why does that matter?
That I can use anywhere in my body.
I would say that is a pretty bad line. Like, that I can use anywhere in my body. It's like, I feel like a better way of saying that. So we have multiple therapy settings so that you can pick the exact right setting for relieving your stress or for relieving soreness. And again, that's off the top of my head. You obviously want to make it a little shorter, but that's just, again, I can use anywhere in my body. That feels like a bit of a vanilla line.
And it's half the cost of a traditional massage.
That's a good line. Half the cost of a traditional massage. Great value prop right there.
Don't believe me? Go try it for yourself. Get your massage.
Very nice CTA as well. Very natural. It's not the typical, 40% off sale. It's just, yeah, go try it out for yourself. See what the hype is all about. So let's just watch one more.
3 reasons why you need the Smart Cupping Massager.
Why do I need this cupping massager?
1. Not in pain relief. Running every day takes a huge toll on my body, so this massage
Is it me, or does she sound like a 12-year-old trapped in a 20-year-old's body?
is perfect for jumpstarting my recovery and relieving any pain.
Okay, so uses infrared light. Why does that matter? It gives you faster relief. All right, cool. Thank you.
Cupping therapy increases blood flow and helps your muscles relax. I've noticed a real improvement in my mobility and performance. 3. It's rechargeable and it's portable. I can take it with me on runs or to the gym.
So they mentioned the portable thing again, which isn't necessarily the worst thing to mention a benefit in one ad to another ad. It is nice, though, to kind of focus in on one main thing throughout the ad that, all right, so for back pain, this is great. Or for runners, for relieving that stress and all the soreness, this is great. But again, I think this is really, really good. And just the editing, there's so much you can take away from this. Great voiceover, great clips. There's a lot to like. But I really do love Foreplay for other reasons as well. So you can actually go into the discovery, go into the brands, and you can get so much inspiration and see different landing pages that these big brands are using. Because they're not just doing a lot of tests with their creatives, they're also testing different landing page styles. Obvi is a great example of this. They are always split testing new things. And again, these aren't all of the ads from their ad library. These are just all the ads people have saved. So what I would recommend doing is you go into their ad library, and this is an extension tool, so you can then save the ads you like into whatever board you want them to be in. So they got graphics, they got videos, there's a lot going on, but let's actually get into how you can make a lot of creatives at scale for whatever product you're selling. Now, the best way to make tons of ads for cheap is through modular content, because what most people end up doing is they'll go on Billo, they'll go on all these video ad services, and they'll pay $100 for one ad for their product that has all the editing and text, and you can't even repurpose it even if it's good. And when that ad dies out, you're screwed. So what I recommend is modular content, where you break down the ad into the different sections. So there's hook, problem, aggravating a problem, a product intro, benefits, demonstrating how to use that product. You got your testimonial, and then a call to action in most cases. Now, once you break that down, you will contact the influencer. You'll write a brief for your product, which mentions all the different lines in each section. So you might want to have 3 hooks and 3 problems and 3 for every single section, so that you can play around with different combinations when you're making your ads from all that content. And I'll show an example a little bit later on, but you also need to have frameworks, because once you get back all this raw content from your influencer, you need to figure out what combinations can I do, what actually makes sense, because you can't just put a problem as the opening clip or the demonstration as the opening clip. So here's a few frameworks that I like to use, and I also got to give a huge shout out to Dara Denny. She's a creative strategy at Thesis. They work with huge e-commerce brands, and man, she's a breath of fresh air. I absolutely love her content on UGC, and here's a few of the frameworks that she likes to use. So there's the problem solution ad. So describing a problem in the hook, which yes, is sometimes the thing that you want to do. So I used to have trouble focusing throughout the day. So there's our main problem. All right. And then we got agitating the problem. So if you have trouble focusing throughout the day, what does that lead to? Okay, well, then I get no work done. That means that I suffer grade-wise at school. Who knows? But you just got to agitate the problem that you mentioned earlier on, and then you have your solution. So because I had this problem, I decided to try this product I saw online. It could be a medication, it could be some sort of fidgeting toy, and then boom, as soon as you get it, you demonstrate how to use that product. So if it's a medication, you might just say that you take 1 pill a day, and then after that, you feel the effects and you feel focused for the rest of the day for at least a few hours. Who knows? But you just describe how to use it. Then what are the benefits of that product? So you feel focused, you feel refreshed, energized, and then you get your call to action, which is try this out today, something along those lines. And then again, I'll let you screenshot all these different frameworks. I don't want to cover all of them, but here's the recipes for doing them. So TikTok made me buy hook, introduce your product, get some USPs in there, 2 to 3, and then a call to action. And then I have tons of other different combinations also that I like to use that don't necessarily have a big fancy title to them, but these are combinations I love trying, like a hook, then you demonstrate the product, 2 benefits, testimonial, call to action. There's so many different combinations. I have 15 in total. I'm not going to show all of them with you, but you have to play around to see what works. And I think the most common one has to be the stepwise ad. And this is something that, I mean, here are 3 reasons why you need to check out this product. Then you give the 3 reasons why, you do your call to action at the end. And the 3 reasons are always going to be unique selling points. That's what a USP is. So pretty simple. So you just get your different frameworks and you have your product, you got your benefits, and then you just need to figure out, all right, from this brief, what are the 3 major frameworks I kind of want to follow so that I at least have enough content to make those types of ads. So if you want to make a stepwise ad, then you obviously need to make sure one of your hooks has 3 reasons why you need to try this product out, something along those lines. And then I like to do a problem solution. I like to do one of the other frameworks. And then I just like to get additional lines that I can kind of throw around to make those different combinations that I showed below. So here's a quick example of one of the briefs that we recently did for that facial sauna. So as you can see, we have multiple hooks that we'll ask the content creators to film. If you aren't using this facial facial sauna before bed. What are you doing? Ladies, I cannot believe what happened after I started using this facial sauna. Then we mentioned all the problems that people have as our target audience. And this is after doing the research. They struggle with acne scars. They struggle with trying out all these different products that never give them any results. And they struggle because they have to spend a lot of money going to these treatment centers. So after that, all right, boom, I had to use this product because I want to solve these problems. Then we got our demo. So using this product is super easy. You just do step 1, step 2, step 3, USPs. So after you do those steps, what are the benefits? Well, it helps you absorb skincare products better, improves your collagen. You'll notice a huge improvement in your skin, completely renewing your skin. I mean, geez Louise, you can take a screenshot, but this is what you want. You want the lines to feel natural, because if you write like a copywriter and you're trying to do more direct response, it's not going to sound very natural. And that's the biggest thing that I noticed when it was a big transition for me. I used to write all my copy in the third person point of view, and you can't do that with these types of briefs. You have to make it conversational, like you're actually talking to a friend or just a camera. So you have to be thinking, how do people actually talk? And that's a skill that does take time, because I mean, I was stuck in the direct response mind for a while. So you have to use I statements a lot. You have to use my skin, and then there's a lot of different things that go into it. But that's the major things with these lines that you really need to be focusing about. And then obviously you need to plan out what each shot is going to be for that line. So for ladies, I cannot believe what happened when I started using this facial sauna. It makes sense that you're talking to the camera while holding that product that you are actually referencing. And then you got other things. So I used to spend so much money on all kinds of different skincare products. So yes, reading labels from other skincare products, and you look frustrated because, hey, your skin's not improving. So you might be holding some competitors and you're like, this sucks. You might throw them away in the garbage. Who knows? Because yeah, you haven't gotten any improvement. You're frustrated. That should be, okay, I'm really pissed off right now. So I would say this is a really incredibly detailed brief, and this is the level that you want to be at when you are working with content creators. Because if you give them this information, you just say, shoot the raw footage, give me each one of these shots, give me each one of these lines, they will do that, and they will do that at a steep discount compared to if you don't give them that many details. They'll probably charge you more because they have to do the research, and because they're not marketers, they're going to come up with worse ads than you. So let's actually talk about how to source UGC creators. Now, I will admit, I'm still testing a lot of different ways of finding UGC creators, but the best methods for me right now of finding creators is mainly Twitter, surprisingly. There's a lot of UGC creators that if you look up on search, you can easily find. So you just go to UGC creator, and there are tons of these big influencers, and you don't necessarily want to work with the bigger ones because obviously, yes, they will charge you more money, but you go into this one, for instance, Mia, you can go through her comments, and I can guarantee all the comments are going to be from other UGC creators that you could potentially reach out to. You just go to their link, you see their portfolio, and really when I'm evaluating a creator, I like to look for 3 major things. So let's actually review a portfolio of someone who actually applied to work at my agency. So what are the major things I'm looking for? I am looking for good voiceover. They actually say the lines and it sounds convincing and natural. I'm also looking for good lighting with the different shots of the product or the shots of their face, whatever they're using. I'm looking for variety so that they have marketed multiple products, and I'm finally going to look for clip variety. Are they shooting the clips in the same background in the same way every single time and it's really boring, or are they doing different shots of the product, maybe inside or outside or in different rooms or different ways of applying and demonstrating the product, or are they just doing the same thing? Because most UGC creators, I will admit, they'll be in their room, they'll be holding a skincare product, they'll apply it to their face, and it's literally the exact same shot, the exact same distance. They don't mix it up at all. And for me, I just don't like working with creators that don't mix up the shot variety. So let's see real quick here what we got. Okay, so first ad is activewear.
Okay guys, I'm putting you on to my go-to pair of leggings for the gym, leg day.
Okay, so first thoughts. Lighting, not great. She's got a shadow on her face because she's wearing a hat, which is not great for lighting. When it comes to her voice, I don't have much of a thought yet, but okay, so she's wearing the product right now, so it's the leggings right here. Let's see if she adds some variety. Maybe her in front of her garage, maybe her at the gym. Let's see how she demonstrates this.
Upper body, it really does not matter. 9 times out of 10, I pick them for lower body day. First things first, this waistband is so thick.
Looks like we got a thumbnail, ladies and gents. Jeez Louise. I gotta go to the gym more often because I gotta admit, my girl, she ain't got nothing to grab.
It literally just sucks you right in. I'm obsessed with the seamless.
I will admit, it sounds authentic. It doesn't feel like she's reading off a script. It feels like this is her coming up with the thoughts and lines out of her head, which is good to see.
Fit, and the way it just kind of picks up the glutes and the booty contour is absolutely perfect. It lays in the perfect.
All right, let's just zoom past this before I get demonetized. And yep, pretty much every single shot is in the same room, same lighting, which is not great. That is not what I want to see. So we'll check out one more ad and see obviously if it's different. I mean, I'll usually go through all these, but for the sake of video, I'm not going to do that. So let's see testimonial review.
If you have not tried Power Crunch protein bars yet,
Oh my God, she forgot the name of the brand. Did you see that? She had to look at the bar to confirm that she's talking about the right brand. Absolutely caught. Unacceptable.
13 grams of protein and only 6 grams of sugar, you cannot go wrong with these bars. My favorite part about them though,
I would say it does feel a little natural. Is it the best voiceover and reading of lines I've ever heard? Probably not. Getting into the rest of this, I would say I probably would not work with this influencer because, again, there's not really any clip variety. The lighting's a little bit better in this one. I'll give her that. Voiceover, I think, can be a little more energetic. I like to have people that have all three of that criteria. If they don't, I'm picky, but for you, maybe you want to work with a person like this. And obviously, she'll get better as she continues to improve. But let's get back into sourcing UGC creators. So again, Twitter is my favorite place as of right now. So what I like to do is I'll just do a tweet, and I don't have a lot of followers. I don't have really any clout. I have 200 followers, and I do these types of posts all the time where I'm saying, hey, I'm looking for UGC creators. A lot of agencies do this where they're like, hey, retweet this, so you get a lot of engagement, and then more creators will see it. It starts a little bit of a snowball effect. So we usually get about 10 to 20 applications for our agency just by doing this. And outside of that, we do directly reach out to a ton of people on Twitter and TikTok every single day, usually 40 to 100 creators that we do like, because there are limits to messages. So sometimes you have to actually email them. But as a quick example, let's say here, and when I go on my feed nowadays, I will get so many people that I don't follow having tweets like this. Like, my agency is hiring UGC creators. So I'll go through this comment section, look through a few, see the ones that I actually like. So I'll go through here, and I usually want to go through their portfolio and just go through that exact same process and see, all right, is the voiceover good? Is the lighting good? Clip variation? And if it is, I'll DM them or send them an email. And then the other way is through TikTok. So I'll look up UGC creator, and then I'm just going to go through here. I'll go through the comment section because the majority of people that comment on UGC creator videos are other UGC creators. They're like a moth to light, I'll tell you what. So let's see Alexia right here. She definitely looks like a UGC creator in my eyes. So again, this might be someone we reach out to. We want to see if we can get her email, Instagram, and obviously if you're a UGC creator, make sure you have some sort of contact information in your bio just to make it easy for us. But again, that is the process of how we source most of our creators. But I also like to use other tools like BeeRoll. This is a free tool that I'm aware of. I mean, I've never had to pay for it. And with this, it gives you a database of different content creators. So you see all these content creators here. I can specify, so I can do max age of 30 real quick. Scrolling down, we can take a look at our different options and we can see which one fits our demographics. So maybe for our ad, we're looking for female. And with country, I'm usually always going to do United States just to make it easy with shipping with Amazon Prime for 2-day shipping. And again, the really cool thing about this is it usually will give you the price range that this person is willing to actually work with you for. So let's say $200, $300. Then it'll give you the Instagram link so you can actually reach out to them directly. So that's really, really fire. I absolutely love this thing. And I would say, if you're wondering how much should you pay, I don't typically pay more than $200 to get those 20 lines filmed from my brief. So you have to do a bit of negotiating. You'll have to do a bit of researching. And this is where it takes a bit of time. So with this person right here, she charges $50. So hey, I might be getting an absolute steal. So we might want to see if we can find her portfolio. It could be on her Instagram. This looks like more of a personal type of Instagram. So if we can get a portfolio link, that would be great. So she has some videos here.
It's a really unique brand where it takes and repurposes old billboard signs and creates.
So let's just go through the different shots. She's got the unboxing. She's sitting down. She's opening, taking shots out. Hey, you know, for $50, that's not bad. She had different shots. I will admit the lighting, I mean, girl needs a ring light. Girl, get a ring light. But for $50, I mean, that's pretty good bang for your buck. Now, my top tips for creating great UGC is mainly it's acting. It is always going to come down to the acting of UGC creators. So when you are evaluating who you're going to send your product out to and pay, it is so important you go through their portfolio and understand how do they read lines. That is the most important thing. Does it feel natural? Does it feel authentic and it's energetic? And it feels like when they got this product, it's something they've been waiting for months. And when they do speak to the camera, it feels like it's natural, that they're talking to a friend. It's just you and me, and you're watching my YouTube video and you're enjoying it, having a good time, maybe eating that lunch. Is that a chicken dino nugget you're eating right now? That's pretty cute. So again, it's got to feel natural, because even if the lighting and the clip variation is good, if the lines suck, it is really hard to make a good ad. I'm just telling you from experience. But the next most important thing in my eyes is that clip variation. As I mentioned earlier, if you're selling any type of product, let's say a water bottle, you can use a water bottle all types of different places, outside, inside, at the gym, at the park, wherever. And it's really easy for creators to sometimes miss this when you don't give them the exact shot they need to do, because I will see instances where people will be selling a kitchen product, but they'll show the kitchen product inside of their room. They'll unbox the kitchen gadget and they're never in the kitchen when they shoot shots for that product, which makes absolutely no sense. So you also have to have the context as to, with this shot, where would I be using this product? If it's a skincare product, I probably shouldn't be on my desk applying it. I should probably be in the bathroom, somewhere where it makes sense. So have the clip variety if that product is used in a variety of different ways, or at least make sure you're shooting in the right environment. And obviously on your side, you need to make sure they have great lines that they're reading. If the lines suck, hey, it's not their fault. That's the script. I mean, that's a good movie right there. If you have a bad script in a movie, the actors can only do so much. So you have to make sure that the lines feel natural. And I would recommend letting your content creators know that they have flexibility. They should be able to say the lines, the hooks, the problems in their own unique way, but get the same idea across. Because I know, for instance, when I did sales, we might have a script that's word for word. You never are going to read word for word what the script says. You're not going to memorize all of that. You're going to say it in your own unique way. So give guidance instead of saying this is the word for word script you have to follow. And then the final way to make great UGC is through the editing. Now, I don't like to have my content creators edit because I don't think they really understand how to do that at a high level. So you should have a separate role where you have an editor that understands ads, that understands TikTok. They've been on the platform. They understand the pacing. And on TikTok, it's very fast paced. Clips are changing rapid fire. It's every 1 second, 2 second, 3 second. And a lot of times you'll have a line that takes 4 seconds to read and you'll have 3 clips that happen during the duration of that one line. So they got to understand pacing. They got to understand what fonts are native to TikTok. They got to understand zoom ins and transitions from clip to clip to really tell a story. And again, a great example is this cupping massage right here. You see the zoom ins and then you see, okay, we got the push right to get to the next clip. We got, okay, a J cut. Then we got all of these animations. Look at that. It just keeps getting your attention. These things keep popping up. It's more stimulus and it keeps you going through the rest of the ad. It's really well done. Now, I would say the main critique of an ad like this is you might be over editing. And there's a fine line where on TikTok, you have to make ads that feel authentic. And if you over edit, yeah, it's not going to be authentic really at all. So it is an interesting thing, the split test that we're right now split testing. Should we do a lot of animations and swiping right and doing these zoom ins, or should we focus on trying to make it feel more natural and authentic? Like even with this ad, I mean, this is really well done. And the thing is with us as marketers, we want things to look pretty, even if it doesn't perform as well. So this might look like an amazing ad to you, and I really do believe it is an amazing ad, but you might test this against a more natural ad that feels a little more, I don't know, just not well done. And then that more authentic ad does perform better. You just never know with these things. So it's always good to split test instead of just always making everything very polished. Now, whether you're advertising on Facebook or TikTok, it's really important to understand why your creative either succeeded or failed, because there are metrics like CTR where most people use the KPI of 1%. If you have a 1% CTR, your ad's pretty solid. And if it's below that, you need to swap out the ad entirely. But in a lot of cases, that ad could be successful. It's just maybe the hook needs to be changed around, or maybe the body needs to be changed around. But if you're wondering what does need to be changed around, you can actually calculate that with your hook rate. Now, hook rate is typically going to be 2-second video plays on TikTok or 3-second video plays on Facebook. And that is going to be divided by either impressions or total video views. So on TikTok, I would be doing 9,774 divided by 22,544 for this ad. So just to round it up real quick, let's do 9,700 and it's divided by 22,500. So this will calculate our hook rate, which is 43%. And I would say a good hook rate on TikTok specifically is above 30%. If you're above 30%, that's really solid. So I would say right here, my hook is doing an excellent job. But the next metric is that hold rate. How many people that watch 3 seconds actually completed the entire ad? And I would say a good KPI for that is around 20% or higher. Obviously, there will be some ads that are absolutely crushing it with hook and hold rate, but then you notice that the CTR is low. So that means probably the angle just wasn't that enticing. So that would be a situation where I'd actually consider swapping out the entire thing, or maybe just swapping out the body. You never know. But let's actually calculate that real quick. So 1,300 divided by 9,700. So as we can see right here, my hold rate is 13%, which is not that great. So I can definitely glean from that, all right, my hook for this ad was really good, so I don't need to swap that out. But that body, whether it was the problem, whether it was just the framework I followed, it did not do a good job of actually keeping people watching my ad and then clicking. So that's the area area where I want to make some iterations. So obviously if the hold rate is low, and let's say I'm doing a hook, problem, solution, and then a call to action ad, then that next clip after hook is the problem. So obviously that problem did not do a great job of hooking people in and keeping them to watch the rest of the video. So I probably want to change it from, let's say, problem number 1 that was in that ad to problem number 2 or problem number 3 that we already filmed, so that we can split test and see if we put that hook that already worked with the next problem, with the next solution, with the next call to action, maybe that will be the winning formula. But that is where, when you do raw content and when you do it modularly, it helps so much compared to when you get a complete ad, because you can't play around with a complete ad like you can with raw footage. It's just such a game changer. And again, it's really important that they don't add any text, or that your creator doesn't add any tweaks at all, so that you can add different text, because maybe you have a hook that's working really, really well. And it could be this one right here. You see, here's why I'll never pay for a massage again. But if you just have this clip, then we can change around the different text, because even if this hook is performing well, that could be the text. It could also be the clip. So we could try a different clip with the same text to see how that performs, or we could try the same clip, the actual shot, with different text and see if that can perform better. Because your whole job as a marketer is to see what's working and can I outperform that. And this is exactly what you got to do when you are scaling a product, because once you have something that's scaling, you have to make more creatives and you have to look at those soft metrics. So if you're noticing, all right, I got an ad that's absolutely crushing it, but it's starting to die out. All right, let me look at why it was successful. And maybe I have another ad that was also successful, so I can see what were the commonalities between those two ads. Oh, they had the same problem. Oh, they had the same call to action. So when I make my next creatives, let me use those same problem and call to action, but just do a different hook or do a different framework altogether, but have a framework that has a problem and a call to action inside of it. But that's when it gets really, really strategic and you can really scale, because again, you just got that one creator who filmed that one brief, but you can make all these different combinations, but you have to do it strategically. You have to look at commonalities. You got to see what is the reasons why something is working versus not, and you can only do it through evaluating these metrics. So again, there is so many cool things you can do with modular content.